everyone. It's glad to have you here again, and welcome to another conversation on how to get clarity. We tagged these clarity sessions because it was so key and so important to be able to help people see. We understand that a lot of people cannot have conversations because they don't know, they don't have a sense of where they're going, what this would look like. And it's because they've not been able to get clarity on where they're going. So this has been such a great ride, having this monthly sessions with people to be able to get the clarity that would help them build capacity, also build strength to pursue all of their dreams. And today's conversation is not going to be any less. It's actually a great place to start because for so many people, when we talk about capacity and confidence, it's something they don't think they can match side by side. They feel like it's different. And for us, it's almost the same thing. And it's important that we wanted to help people to be able to realize that they need to improve their capacity using confidence. A lot of people don't take on roles and challenges because they feel like, oh, this is not me. I'm not ready for this. And we just want to help people mirror themselves so that they can see that they have the confidence to do things, that they just need to be able to put themselves out there and just build capacity. Because the more you build capacity, the more confidence you get. But if you keep rejecting opportunities and you keep stepping back from chances, there's every chance that you will not be able to build that capacity and your confidence will continue to dwindle. And to have this conversation with us is it's someone that I've met recently, but like it's so weird that this world is small. We go to the same church, we practically know almost the same people. And that's the thing about circle for me is that if I know someone that knows someone, for me, I just naturally just assume there's brilliance in what they do because of the relationship. And I'm so excited to have Bolaji just have this conversation with us. And Bolaji is a marketing professional and growth accelerator who has spent a great amount of years, 12 years cumulative experience in the creative industry, from working on global brands like Pepsi, Five Alive, Polaris, Super Commando, and just big brands. And for someone that has worked in advertising, I know what it takes to take on some of these briefs. I know that it takes an extra set of courage for you to determine that, okay, I want to be able to launch a new product, especially because there's so many things at stake. There's choices you would make that people would question, and I know the advertising space, so I know that it takes confidence to be able to do this amount of work in 12 years is a short time with the amount of work that Bolaji has done. And we're excited to be able to have this conversation with Bolaji to just run us through how confidence is needed to be able to build capacity. And yeah, this is where I end my rambling. And so Bolaji is going to just take us on the run and and he just run on through his presentation. So yeah, Bolaji.
Okay. Thank you, Oluwalefemi. That sounds familiar, but yeah, I like for this particular platform you set to be put up together for sharing knowledge. Like I say to people, also myself, I'm also a work in progress, and the more we share, the more we get to learn from each other and get to be better people. So thank you. Like you said, share the same statements where you say people that know that okay, this person must be some bit of brilliancy and stuff there. So for me, I've gotten to know that I know people that know you, that kind of thing. So it's so great to know that. So I think for us to delve into the whole conversation this afternoon or this evening is the fact that what I try to do here, beyond the slides and stuff, is also the fact that these are just talking guide. I'm not really going to be prescribing that do this, do that. But based on my own experience over the years, I just try to put up one or two things together to guide this conversation. I'm not a teacher. I'm more of a facilitator. So I bring this up and talk on these slides and maybe it can bring some thoughts from you, so we can all share our experience and get to learn from each other. But as an advertising guy, we don't usually go into any space or a presentation or meetings without a slide. So I just had to put up this slide together, so just pardon me. I also try to also make sure it's something that maybe can sink into people. So there are most of the slides are one-liners and two-liners like that, so it can actually sink into every of our listening audience. So I titled this presentation, I wish I can design the slides for timing and everything. So I said, no be by gra. So that's the title of my slide, because at the end of the day, people can be actually confidently ignorant. You can be confident, but yet you don't know anything. And there are some people that are ignorant and still confident. So either ways, sometimes people will tell you that I have confidence, but when you get to hear them, you're like, this person is so shallow, and your confidence is supposed to be in the air. There's nothing that holds that confidence. But what I try to put here as the title of the presentation is "No be by gra." And for those that are very familiar with this, in this local balance kind of thing, is the fact that some people want to do stuff and they just want to do a show of force. But then at the end of the day, people that knows their stuff will see through you. And so I'm saying that, yes, we are shouting, I want to be confident, I want to have capacity, but it's not about shouting, it's not about saying it, it's not about being forceful. People will see through you when the push comes to shove. So it's not by gra, it's not by force. When you have that confidence, it will show through. For the people that know the true confidence, they will see it through, and also they will see that you have capacity. So yes, here we go. Thank you, Motley Inspired. So this is a presentation from Motley Inspired platform, and it's today is June 24th. Okay, so in terms of learning outcomes, I'm trying to move my slides. I don't know. Is it moving there?
No, it's not.
Okay. I think it's moving now, right?
Okay. Yeah, it is.
Okay. All right. Outline, introduction, learning outcomes, and I borrowed that from my colleague here, and also in terms of who confidence help. I'm trying to be as very straightforward as possible, and also use some form of pidgin language for those that are probably familiar with this space. We try to be very local, so you can sink in the message very well. Then also the fourth one is capacity, no the finish. Then I have like 5 to 7 pointers. I wanted to stop at 5 initially, but I decided to 2 other pointers that I think is very important for this conversation. Questions, if possible, have questions, we get to hear the questions and to talk about it. Then what next? For me, for every time I have a course to attend a session or a meeting or a presentation, I'm very particular about what are the next steps. So I'm not just going to have a meeting or a presentation or listen to a train or have a training without not identifying at least one thing I'll be doing differently going forward. Then, let's keep in touch. Very important, building our confidence both ways. So let's keep in touch. In terms of, I think this is all about social media already, so I'll skip this. This is my profile, just for you to know, have a background of where I'm coming from and possibly where I'm going to. Okay, so in terms of learning outcomes, we have describing confidence, why confidence matters, improving capacity with confidence, how to develop and harness confidence. Yes, so this is more or less like what we're hoping to deliver at the end of the day. This should be our takeout for everyone that gets to listen, that gets to hear this particular message. Describing confidence, why confidence matters, improving capacity with confidence, and how to develop and harness confidence going forward. So I started the conversation with like a thought starter. So why I try to always ask questions, because in the midst of asking questions, you get more clarity. There's always a why. Keep asking why before when you continue to ask why, it will definitely, you reach a stage where that, okay, you've gotten to the right part. That's keep asking why. So for me, this is a question I'm asking myself this afternoon. Who confidence help? How does confidence work? What does it do to you? When you have confidence, what happens to you? What is the difference between someone that is confident and someone that is not confident? What are the benefits and non-benefits of confidence? These are questions that are open to everybody. For perspective purpose, I believe that I have my own perspective, and which I'm going to be sharing. And I know if somebody else is being asked this question, I believe that they also have their own perspective. There's no right or wrong answer, but it's also how we're able to channel it into results at the end of the day. So why I asked this question is the fact that it's all dependent on 5 W's and H. I'm very particular about these acronyms because, when you can be clear on those things, it helps you to know where you want to go forward, no matter the topic, no matter the message that is put on your table. So, who confidence? I ask myself, if I'm confident, who am I? And also, confidence is actually relative. For some, I get to a space, people will tell me I'm confident. I get to another space, they will tell me I'm not confident. So it depends on who and who you are talking to per time that actually makes you, in quotes, be confident. So also is the fact that who are you personally? Who are you? You need to understand who you are first before you can know how much you can build your confidence level and also build your capacity level. It's very important. Once you can get clarity on who you are, and like I said also, other way around, so you can be confident in your mind. You can be confident, you can have a belief that you are confident. But when you get to a space, some people can give you a feedback that you are not confident, but that is their own perspective, that's their own opinion of you. But I think that starting from even this topic itself, once you know who you are, then you can be secured in your person, you can be secured in your being. So that for me is very crucial. You need to understand who you are. Then also, the environment you play. There are some people that they get into an environment and you can see the confidence through. And they get into a different environment and it seems like they are shy, or they are, they are a bit nervous, or they are a bit not confident on themselves anymore. So, but then you need to be aware of your environment. Once you are aware of your environment, you can understand how much you can change, how much you need to adapt for your confidence level to come true. Because at the end of the day, for a case in point, I meet a president of my association of advertising agencies of Nigeria. I will sound so confident, I will sound so relaxed, I will sound so myself, because this is a familiar terrain. This is somebody I know. This is an industry I know. But take it to another level. I meet a Sanwo-Olu, or I meet a Nigerian president, that's President Buhari. My confidence might shake. At the end of the day, there's the person that I'm talking to, there's the environment I found myself. Aso Villa is not every day that people enter Aso Villa. So when I get into that space, I need to adapt in a particular way such that my confidence can still come true. But I can't use the same thinking, the same packaging, the same belief when I speak to a familiar person or a familiar environment, and also take the same into somewhere else, because it's a different environment, different thought leaders, different thought leadership and the likes. So it's very critical that you know who you are, you know where you are, you know where you play. Then also when. Timing is also important. Timing is very important, because I want to believe that, just a very simple example, pre-COVID, some people were confident. They were confident about life. They were confident about so many things. But after COVID happened, even the United States, that seems to be the powerhouse of the world, seems to be shaking, because the thing caught them unawares. They thought they had everything figured out. So, for instance, you can say the United States became fidgety when COVID happened, because it's a different period. It's a different time being. If the United States were ready for, in quotes, COVID, maybe they wouldn't have gotten so much that they had. But they caught them unawares. It was not an environment they were used to. So same thing to us as a person. The timing also is very important. When I'm in a particular time or a particular scenario, I can be confident. But at another time, I might be very, very, not that confident level might be very low. Then what subject matter? What are we talking about? What are people saying? What are the things, what are the challenges in front of you that will actually determine whether you'll be confident or you'll be fidgety, or you just lack that self-secureness, in you. Then why? Why are you doing what you're doing? Because at the end of the day, there's always a reason, there's always a motivation behind every action. So if the action for me is the fact that I want to I want to, some people are very funny though, but personally for me as a person, I want to do something bad to someone. I don't think I'll be very confident as against when I want to do good. The way I find myself being confident when I want to do good is quite different from when I want to do bad. Because I know that this is not me, it's not my natural place, it's not my natural space that I want to do bad. So it's important that we actually have this kind of, have that consciousness of why we are doing what we're doing. Then also how, who confidence help. It's very important that we also know how we are going about these things. Because at the end of the day, once you understand who you are, you can know how you can build your confidence level and also build your capacity. So this is like just a thought starter, just to open our minds to what confidence is all about. At the end of the day, you can open the dictionary and people will tell you, what confidence is. One of the things I was going through when I had my own study is the fact that it said that confidence is being having that quiet inner knowledge that you are capable. That quiet inner knowledge that you are capable. That is a definition. It's possible you have that kind of definition. But for you, I think personally, if you can understand these 5 W's and the how, then exactly confidence can help you to build yourself up and also to actually build your capacity. Going next is capacity, not the finish. This is a very important conversation to have. Because with the way we have right now, wired as a people, things have changed. We have social media whereby you can reach the world from the top, from a click of a button from your phone, such that people now project so many things, and it seems like everybody is now pushing container over content. But let me tell you, this particular time, for me, in building capacity, there's never an ending to it. There's never a time you tell yourself that you are now fully capable. No, you are still a work in progress. No matter what you have done, no matter what you have achieved, no matter what you think the results you have achieved, there's always something to always long for. And that's why we are human beings after all. I don't think that God has created us to this world to, yes, we are perfect in Him, but then there are still some imperfection in us such that we need to continue to grow as human beings. So when I said capacity, not the finish, it's very important. Keep building up yourself. It's important to keep building yourself such that at the need of it, you can always show up. You never can tell when you need such skills, when you need such learnings, when you need such training. Something like we have this, this particular time. It's a training. It's a discussion. It's something that we are trying to share knowledge. For me, as I'm saying this, as I try to prepare for this particular session, I learned 1 or 2 things. So for me, there's always a place of growing from what you were before and being better as a person. So when I said capacity, not the finish, the rider there is content over container. No matter how much you want to prep and you want to package yourself, I work in an industry whereby packaging matters a lot. Packaging matters a lot. But guess what? I will share 1 or 2 examples. So one of the key things that I can share as my own industry is the fact that despite that packaging matters, for instance, the kind of presentation you are making, people want to see a good slide, trying to be very friendly to your eyes and everything. In delivering the slide, in talking about the slide, people are also watchful of that. They want to see the content that's in you. So it's not about the paparazzi, it's not about the whatever thing that is looking so nice and all flashy to you, to your eyes. It's also what are you spilling from your mouth? What exactly do you know? How much of the content do you know as against the beautiful container? So what I said here is always prioritize content over container. No matter what, at every point in time, leave packaging. Packaging is okay, it's fine, it's okay. But don't stay on packaging. Because at the end of the day, packaging can be crumbled. It's when you squeeze an orange before you can get the juice. And the juice, once the juice is not there, the orange will be useless to anybody. So at every point in time, make sure you are building content. Content might not be seen out there. Content might not wear jacket out there. Content might not wear agbada, all those things out there. But when they squeeze you, people will see the $1 million shirt and $1 million suit that you have in you already that will later become an outward thing. It's about time. Time is a great storyteller, because if you keep building that content that you are building will matter somewhere someday. That's very important. And I'm going somewhere. I'm still trying to open up this topic, confidence and capacity. Because at the end of the day, when we tell ourselves that we are capable, I am confident, it's a level. There are levels to this thing. You know, there are some places I get where, you know, this guy came, and I'm very, very fidgety. I'm actually, you know, sweating under my palms, you know, because at the end of the day, I know that I might not be able to make it. And it's okay to be vulnerable. There are some sessions I go into, some client sessions I go into, meeting a marketing director, meeting a multinational managing director, I'm presenting to the board. I get fidgety, like I practically go to the restroom to just go and catch my breath. So there's never an end to this thing. But one thing that is very sure, once you keep building your container or your content and making sure that your container is okay, like people can see you and invite you to the table. But when you get to the table, what are you telling them? What are you speaking to them? What are you saying to them? That is not something you can actually build while you're on the table. It has to be something you've actually built up before you get to that table. So for me, it's very important. Prioritize content over container at every point in time. So let's delve into key discussion point. I think for the next couple of slides, I'll just be talking on major sharing some of my own life experiences, just for us to understand this topic, confidence and capacity. Just a check. Oluwanifemi, can you hear me clearly?
Yes, I can. Yes, I can hear you clearly.
Awesome. So one of my first points, which is very important, and I can give this to a very, very great woman I respect, Nigeria, to thyself be true. And that's the one of the greatest managers that we have here in the country, female managers. Her name is Dr. Ibuku Awoshika. And you know, something that she has said to me, maybe in like 4 or 5 years, and it has talked to me. Because at the end of the day, now only you come this world, pardon my pidgin, now only you come this world, now only you go. So at every point in time, when people are hailing you, when people are saying you are this, you are that, and when you are telling yourself you are this, you are that, go again, do a self-reflection. Once you do a self-reflection, you can tell yourself that this is the true reality of yourself, and you know, follow through that. You know, it's very important that you always tell yourself the truth at every point in time. To thyself be true. Who exactly are you? Who exactly are you? It's very important. That is very, you know, at the end of the day, because when push comes to shove, there is something that comes through, and that is you yourself. You know, you look at yourself in the mirror and you can definitely see that, okay, this is me, and whatever people are saying, they may be wrong, they may be right, but to thyself be true. That's very important. At every point in time you meet yourself, at every point in time you find yourself in any situation, be assured that you are telling yourself the truth. Don't negotiate on it. If somebody has told you that you are, how do I put it? If somebody has told you that you are a liar, go back again and check yourself. Are you truly a liar? Because there must be a reason why that person has said that. And if truly you check yourself and realize that you are a liar, then own up to it. Become a better person and stop being a liar. And if perhaps somebody has told you that you are the best thing that ever happened is sliced bread, go back again. Don't dwell on it. Are you truly the best thing? You know, because at the end of the day, people can have a perception of you. That is a perception. When you come back to yourself, is that truly what it is? So I give you an example, you know, saying something about to thyself be true. And this is a very recent one. You know, there was a time, and like 2020, and there was a time that I was working on a particular project. And because I've done some of these projects back to back, you know, it has become like a no-brainer already, you know, something that I'm very okay with. You know, I had this project and I'm doing it, and I don't need to look at it anymore. Well, I got to a point whereby I have to tell myself that who exactly is running this project, and why did I get to that point? I met a different person entirely on this project. That's on the other side. That's the client side. And the way the person was wired is quite different from what I'm used to. We keep having issues on this project per time. And I'm telling myself that I know this But the way the client comes back, the kind of feedback I get just says something about the fact that you are not competent enough. But guess what? If I decide to work on this perception of what people have told me in the past, I would have said to the client that, to hell with you. Like, I know this work, we are the problem. But I had to tell myself, I had to go ahead and do a self-reflection and ask myself, in this instance, maybe I should have done this, maybe I should have done that. And I realized something, that it was not the client's fault. It was the way I was handling the project. I was handling the project with the mindset of what I've done in the past, and not conscious of the fact that things have changed. This is a time that I was doing some of this project before COVID. Then during COVID, it's going to be different. It's not going to be the same thing. The way people were thinking, and this is not it's not a cliche at all. It's not just to say because the COVID has happened. This can even happen in homes. When you were dating someone as boyfriend and girlfriend, I can tell you for a fact that the day the person engage you, like now put a ring on it, it's going to change, except you want to lie to yourself. So for seasons, like I said before, the when factor happened. I wasn't conscious of the fact that I've changed from the person that was doing something pre-COVID to another person post-COVID. So when I did my self-reflection, I realized that I was actually one of the problems of the issues I was having with the client. And I decided to mend those parts. But that is a place of being reflective, telling myself the truth. That, okay, this guy is complaining, what exactly is wrong? And I realized that I was one of the issues that is making us have issues. That actually helped me enough. And at every point in time, never feel the same way, never get carried away with perception. Be truthful to yourself. When you get into your closed doors, who am I? Who is Bolaji? Who is Oluwani Femi? Who exactly am I even in my closet? That is very important. That's my own point number one, because everything is actually surrounds around you. Once you can understand who you are and how you operate and what exactly you find, anywhere you find yourself and any situation you find yourself, you can be truthful to yourself. Then going to the second point, and this is me actually trying to say how I've built confidence and capacity over time. One of the key things that we need to understand is the fact that at every point in time in our lives, we have to master something. There was a time in my life that waking up in the morning and going to school to be force-fed new knowledge was a big deal. Like, that was what I was doing. But when I personally had to master some things while doing those things, and for instance, let people know you for something. So one of the key things when I was growing up is the fact that my classmates, that was in primary school, my classmates know me that, oh, this guy, when it comes to mathematics, is good. But guess what? You can build your confidence when you are known for something. When people can say this is an expert in something. And I can bring it up to say that I might not be good in everything, but once I put my mind on a particular subject matter, I become an expert in it. And that actually will help me to become confident to actually pursue other subject matters. Because I now believe that there's nothing I can't learn. Because I've been able to put my mind on a particular subject matter and I've gained some form of expertise in it. That will always help you. Be an expert in something. Be an expert in something, because that is a springboard to become an expert in other things. So this is me merging up confidence and capacity. So capacity, like I said earlier on, no dey finish. You build capacity for this particular level. Then as you're building capacity, you are gaining confidence to move to the next level. Because the next level doesn't come cheap, but you need to continue to build capacity. Don't rush yourself. Capacity is a time game. Once you can keep learning something, once you can dedicate hours into something, once you can put your mind into something, you get expertise. And when you gain expertise, you'll be happy with yourself. Take, for instance, you are cooking or you want to learn how to cook. First day, you boil water, you put garri inside, you make eba. I can tell you for a fact that once you make that eba and the eba is good, you'll be tempted to make soup the next day. because you have gained mastery of eba making. And I'm trying to be as literal as possible, because at the end of the day, you gain capacity to make eba, but you have gained confidence to make soup such that eba and soup will be ready by probably the next 3 days. That's how you make capacity, as in you build capacity to gain confidence for your next level. Once you try to jump, there's always that place that you find yourself jittery, you find yourself dropping balls, and that's not good for your own confidence level. So try to space yourself. This is what I want to learn. For instance, I want to go to an Harvard, for instance, but you don't just get to Harvard by just saying by wishes and saying that you want to get to Harvard. There are processes. You do this, you do A, you do B, you do C before you can get to Harvard. So gain mastery for A, or build capacity for A, just for the context of what we are saying. Build capacity for A. In building capacity for A, then you have gained confidence for B, to do B. And that's how it works. Once you can have expertise in something, then you can actually gain confidence for the next level of that particular thing. And that's my second point for this particular session. Okay, moving on to the third pointer. Yes. So going back what we said earlier on, talent without training is trash. Talent without training is trash. And this has been one of my major quotes, and I think I probably formed this myself, I can't remember, but I've been using this quote over the years. Like, you can know something, you don't stay knowing something, you know something and you gain mastery over those things. And in gaining mastery, you need to be trained. So for instance, when I started, when I noticed that I have some artistic instinct and some form of talent in that space, guess what I did? I was only 12 years old when I did notice this particular thing. Guess what? I registered with a roadside artist. Roadside. I was actually in a very good private school, but I realized that I needed to learn. I needed to know better. I needed to sharpen my skills. And I went ahead myself to register with a roadside artist to become a roadside apprentice. So after school in the morning, I resume there in the evening just to learn one or two things. But guess what? That talent that I noticed has become some form of expertise for me. Because at the end of the day, you need to keep developing yourself as a person. You can't keep saying that, I am this, I am that, and people can't see the mastery that you have over things. So for instance, you have a talent of singing. Some people can sing, and why some people sing well, whether you wake them from the sleep or wherever they are, it's like their life, like their second name is singing. Such that every talent you have, when you don't train those talents, they become obsolete. It's not something that is in quotes becomes valuable over time. You become somebody that people can call upon, and we have sample around us. I don't want to mention names, but it's very clear that some people that build up on their skills, because over time you get to see the result of building up your skills. And this for me, when I finished being an artist, let me try to tell a bit of my story. When I finished being an artist, I also noticed that I write. Guess what? When I noticed that writing was there, I decided to have a training on that. And I was going and this training doesn't necessarily be a brick and mortar training. It can even be reading of books. So when people hear training, it's all about, you have to go and learn from someone. No, it can be picking up books and reading, following some people's footsteps and saying that this is what these guys have done and I like this particular thing. I want to also be like them or probably be better than them. Study them, try to find out how they've done one or two things. And that for me is training. Self-development is very critical. So when I did learn about writing, the same time also, I realized that I was interested in advertising. At that point in time, I had my business, full-time business, already registered a company in Nigeria. But guess what? I left my CEO role and became an intern at one of the biggest companies when it comes to advertising in Nigeria. I became an intern. It was important for me that I learned the rudiments of the space I was going into. Yes, I have the talent of advertising and the likes, but at the end of the day, I needed to train. And what I try to do is also the fact that I train with the best. For every time you have an interest in something, for every time you have an interest in an industry, for every time you have an interest to become a better person, look for a person that you can actually respect, or for an organization that actually respects a lot, and actually learn from them. Train under these people or train under this organization. Because at the end of the day, you're not only building confidence through them, you're also gaining the best knowledge available in that particular subject matter or that industry. That's very critical for us. In terms of the fourth point, be your own cheerleader. And I think that this is a very sensitive discussion point. And why do I say so? Because over time now, people now try to speak for themselves, try to praise themselves, try to live in a bubble just because they want to in quotes spread their gospel. At the end of the day, while it's important to be your own cheerleader, don't live in a bubble, because we are not just don't live in the isolation of people around you. But at the end of the day, be very confident of who you are. And for every time you get to make something out of what probably your target or your goal in life, let people know about it. It's okay. It's okay for you to let people know about it. And also the fact that reward yourself, because these are things that will help you build confidence for the next level. Once you can meet up a particular level in terms of being capable to do something, as you are gaining that confidence for the next level, try to reward yourself such that you are looking forward to something again. Because for every level, for level 3, you reward yourself with a pen, for instance. At the end of the day, I tell yourself that the next time that you actually beat something, that's you gain mastery for the 4th level, you reward yourself with an earphones. Those are things that will motivate you to actually build confidence to get to that next level. And at the end of the day also, it's also important that you don't let people tell your story. Tell your story, shape your narrative the way you want it. And I say that because of the industry I work in. We have built brands over time, and I've been privileged to work on some of the biggest in this climb. And what I realized is the fact that when we mention some brand names in this country right now, there's something that comes through in the mind of the consumers or the audience or their customers. And it's because of what? It's because of the communication that has gone through for this particular as a person. You can gain confidence and you can build capability by ensuring that whatever level or whatever goal you've achieved, or whatever story that you've been able to be proud of over time, you speak or you say your story in your own narrative, such that will help you. Is a form of motivation. And I say this for instance, and maybe because I'm in a space whereby it's about marketing and communication, and I'm so conversant in that area. But at the end of the day, I think that what has helped me over time is the fact that I am confident in the fact that whatever I've achieved, I don't stay on it, but I try to create a narrative that makes me become a better person, looking forward to something new, looking forward to something, something like, say, yes, I meet up a goal right now. The next thing I want to do, I'm also looking out for it in terms of, I've said something in the past, is what I want to do, and I meet up that particular goal. That gives me confidence to actually look out for the next goal that I want to achieve. And in doing that, I need to be my own cheerleader. Because at the end of the day, when people don't praise you, or when your own confidence, because if it doesn't come, that's a big problem. But at the end of the day, once you have been able to be, you are comfortable in your own cheerleading, before you know it, people will cheer along with you. And that's very important for me. I cheer myself when I make it go the same way I beat myself when I mess up. So it's a two-way thing. I cheer myself when I do something big, something that I thought wasn't doable. And sometimes when I drop the balls, I also beat up myself. Because at the end of the day, I am me. This is a Bolaji story that I'm writing. This is a Bolaji journey that I'm doing, that I'm going on. If I don't cheer myself, who will cheer me? Because at the end of the day, people can even cheer you in your presence and even do something else at your back. So you can't totally depend on people. You can't depend on external validation all the time. Because at the end of the day, people can mess you up. That's very critical going forward. Be confident in cheering yourself on because you are your number one fan. And that's something I would drop with everyone this evening. Become your number one fan. I don't know what exactly you have done to yourself in the overtime, but go away in this particular session telling yourself that I want to become my number one fan. And start with the little things. The fact that you said you want to wake up 5 a.m. and you woke up at 5 a.m. and you started doing what you plan to do, that's an achievement. That's your building capacity over yourself, over being disciplined over what you don't want to do. Being able to control yourself. So start with the little things. Cheer yourself on that. Yes, you said you wanted to wake up at this particular time, and you really did. And that's something that you're able to, in quotes, cheer yourself on it. And moving on to the next one, which I'll probably give some context to what I've said in this particular slide, is the fact that in building confidence and capacity, what has helped me over time is also the fact that while I try to write my goals and my vision and every other thing, I also try to take stock of what I've achieved. And in taking stock of what I've achieved, it gives me confidence to actually, that's inspiration for the future. So always take your time. And that's very important. And as simple as writing a CV can actually inspire you to actually go for a role that you thought you were never you were never qualified for. As simple as that. Look at what you've done in the past over time. Take a stock of it. I can bet you for a fact that once you do that in a very good way, in a very consistent manner, you will start aiming for things that you don't think you actually qualified for. That is very important because one of the key things that people will tell you is that when you are looking for a job or probably you are trying to go for a role, they will tell you to send you your CV or send in your CV or his resume, and they try to look at your resume. Guess what? They are not only looking out for what you've done in the past. They are trying to also look out for the fact that if you've been able to do this in the past, maybe you can do this new role or this new task or this new challenge for the future. That is one of the key things that recruiters will actually look out for. And this is from some job seekers. And I'm saying this because over time, what I've realized is the fact that when I look back at my journey, it actually gives me that confidence that there is nothing I can't achieve in this life. So far, I put my mind on it. Sometimes I write things down in my journal as a very small, or I was probably 12 or 13. And before I know it, before 16, I've actually achieved them. But guess what? Looking at those things that I wrote in the past actually motivates me for the future. That no matter the challenge, no matter what, in quotes, is needed of me or is required of me, I am capable, or I can grow into it, because in the past I've said this and this about myself. I've done this I've put this as my target or as my goal, and I've achieved them. Guess what? That will actually motivate me to say that looking at this new goal or this new challenge that has been put forward to me, I can actually achieve this so far I put my mind on it. And that's very critical for us, that we do this as often as possible. Release in the past such that you can gain inspiration for the future. It's not that you are trying to walk in a reverse gear. No. You are just trying to ensure that you look at yourself, what you've done in the past. As your Bible say, that's one of the key things that help you to gain mastery over the future. Because you've looked at your journey in the past, how you've been able to achieve some things, and you're looking at this particular big goal that seems not to be something you can actually achieve. But what you have looked at in the past will actually make you see that there is possibility for this particular challenge to be conquered. And that's all you need. And once you can do that, that will help you go into the future. And the sixth point, which I will keep very simple and straight to the point: know and keep your team. Know and keep your team. So why I say this is because of the fact that as human beings, it's very important that we know our go-to people. So it's okay, it's okay that sometimes you're not confident. It's not all the time you'll be confident or super confident of yourself. But when you try to know who you are and know your circle, there are some people today that whether you have done good or you have done bad, they just believe in you. They believe in your gospel. They believe in your dream. Make sure you know these people and you keep them. Because at the end of the day, there are some times in your life, sometimes in your journey, whereby you lose every confidence you have. These are the people that will keep you up. These are the people that will keep telling you the dreams you've told them in the past and you have made happen. These are the people that will tell you what you've achieved that you didn't even know that you have achieved. These are the people that will inspire you based on the fact that you inspire them. Do you understand? So it's very important that we know these people. For a fact, I can say today proudly that my family, they are my number one fans. No matter what, my family just believe that Bolaji cannot be stranded. So when sometimes I find myself being stranded and I go into my family, the way I will feel so puffed up coming back, they'll be like, no, Bolaji has it figured out, don't worry. Because sometimes I wonder that, am I the same Bolaji that these guys are talking about? But it's just the truth of the matter is the fact that these guys just believe in your dream. They believe in your person. They believe in everything that you do. And these are the same guys that will actually tell you the truth when you're actually dropping the balls. So it's not about trying to, quote, deceive you. It's not deceit. These are your people. And the same thing, you also need to have them in your friends. There are some people that you need to keep around you at every point in time in your life. Because when you lose track or when you lose confidence, these are the people that will help you to rev it up back. And that is very important. Even in your workplace, there are some of my team members, they can even be my report lines. They'll just tell you, bro, we've seen you do this before. Therefore, we know you can do this again. So the project I was talking about, there was a time that project had a challenge, and it was even my report line that was saying that I know now, this project that you've done in the past, no, this is not even compared to what you've done in the past. And that actually jumped at me. I'm like, come on, if this guy can actually believe in me that much, then why am I trying to slow myself down? So that is very important. Know your people and keep them to yourself. Like, keep them close to yourself. Because at every point in time, it's not all the time you all be saying you want to be confident or you're all very feeling capable and everything. No. Sometimes you need that external people to actually push up your confidence level or push up your capacity. Because when you know your people and you keep them, there's that tendency that at every point in time that you're even feeling low, before you even get to that your low point, as in your final low point, most often than not, you have seen somebody around you that has actually given you some form of inspiration to actually move on to the big things or move on to that, go over that challenge and actually win over that challenge. So that's very important for me in building confidence, in building capacity. I try to, as much as possible, to know and keep my team. The same way also works for knowing your mentors, because at the end of the day, there are some people that have actually done this period to this time. So you are going for a new role or you are going for a new opportunity and you've seen this opportunity. There are some people that are actually close to that opportunity or they actually have achieved that opportunity in the past. Reach out to them, learn from them, stand on the shoulders of people that have gone ahead of you so you can see further. That's very important for me. I don't joke with my acquaintances that I know. I don't joke with my allies that will keep me going. And lastly, I don't joke with my advocates. These are the people that have gone ahead and seen ahead of me and they can advocate for me. So know and keep your team, because once, for instance, there was a particular interview I went for and there were 5 on the panel, and just because of one person I've worked with on that panel before, the kind of confidence I had, it was a top level conversation, but it was so easy for me because there was somebody that believed in me at that point in time. And I latched on to that particular person to actually show enough confidence in whatever conversation I had with them that particular day. And it usually show true. So it's okay, confident people is very important. Don't always feel like you always have to motivate yourself internally. Sometimes that confidence will return anytime. You're not dwelling on people's validation, but it's also important that you also borrow from people to actually, the people you trust, The people that you've been vulnerable with in the past, you can borrow from them to inspire yourself to actually achieve something better in going into the future. And going to the last one, which I will put a context to, is your wow. And this is like a personal thing for me. And know your wow factor and your G factor. So one of the key things that I try to do is the fact that when I lose confidence, or when I see that, okay, I'm dropping confidence, there are some things I do personally to myself. They are personal to me. And I guess that for everyone listening on this particular in this particular session, we have personal stories to tell things to them. So one of the key things that helped me build my confidence is dress sense. My dressing is one of my own wow factor. It's as simple as that, but when I dress well, like I know that I've dressed the way I want to be as in dressed, the kind of confidence that comes to me is exciting. Like I like it to the core. Also, for me, is the fact that I appreciate people. I celebrate people. I don't, no matter what it is, I see the good in everyone. I recognize the good in everyone. But guess what? It also helps me to know that there is a good in me. It reminds me the fact that I'm capable, because I'm already celebrating the capability of somebody else. That actually gives me that good factor, that feel good factor that helps me to build my confidence over others. So these are personal work factor for me. The work factor for me, like I mentioned, my dress. When I dress well, the kind of confidence that I have, and that has actually worked for me in several interviews. No matter, even despite that, the fact that interviews can be different in terms of probably you're trying to do for a job or you're trying to do a chat or something like that. My dressing is something that helps me to build that confidence. Also, the fact that I celebrate people. I don't know what exactly who you have, but I will find something good to say about you. And that helps me to feel good for myself and actually build that confidence actually for myself. Lastly, which I mentioned, is the G factor. The G factor is the fact that I'm a proud Christian, and I tell myself that there's always a God factor in me. So when I mix the God factor in me and my wow factor, I become unstoppable. I become the person that has strength to do everything. That there is a God that rules over the affairs of men. So even when you have posed with so many challenges, you have posed with so many things that seems not to be, that actually down to your own confidence level, there's a God, there's the Holy Spirit that you can call on to help you to build your confidence in every challenge you found yourself. Because at the end of the day, you can't be stranded when you are God-led. You can't be stranded when there's God involved in your issue, or when God is involved in anything that you do. So for me, I don't ignore the G factor. I know the fact that even the Bible says that, I can do all things through Christ that strengthens me. Philippians 4:19, I can do all things through Christ that strengthens me. One of my very favorite scripture is also the fact that, it says, if you faint in the days of it means that strength is small. We are called to do something bigger than ourselves. I tell people that no matter what it is, no matter the challenge that I'm facing, that creates way when there is no way. So if you continue to have that at the back of your mind, you build some form of confidence that people might not even see, but and they get to acknowledge later on. So please never negotiate on the G factor. That is one of the best things you can ever have in your life. And why I'm saying this, because it might sound like a very simple message, but it's one of the major things that has helped many people to stay on top of their game. We can't know it all, like I said earlier on. We can't know it all. Level to every 5. And in growing, there's always a God factor that helps you to grow also. My entry test to Insight Communications in 2014, I got a feedback in my mail saying that I couldn't make it to the next round because my score was low. Guess what? Before the end of 24 hours after that mail came, there was a factor that came to say that you have got the next round. And why? Because they realized that they didn't get enough number of people they were looking for, and they had to push further down the cutoff mark. That is the G factor for me. And I worked in that organization for another 4 years. So at the end of the day, when you remember that you have a God in you, the confidence you go into a hall when you are writing exams is different. Yes, you might not have studied hard or enough, and I'm not saying you shouldn't study. You have to study, you have to do the work. That's very important. But there's always a God factor that helps you to shine through. That makes your C become a B, and makes your B become an A. That is very important. Even in your workplace, you might be doing what others are doing, but the God factor will be one to show for that, oh, this guy is actually doing the best amongst his peers. And that for me, I don't take it for granted, and I can share with you, because this is my own personal journey, and it's okay to share these things with you, because at the end of the day, I'm not a perfect being. I'm also a work in progress, but don't forget your G factor.